All right, guys, today's video is going to be a little bit different than what we normally do. I just want to put out kind of a PSA, a warning to a lot of you guys out there. When you're shopping for new vehicles, especially on Facebook, I ended up becoming the victim of stupidity, probably, but and also greed and all that stuff that goes with it. But I just want to share with you kind of what happened to me last month. So stay tuned. Now, you guys might have seen a couple of the earlier videos that I published where I picked up a 2022 Ram 1500 Tradesman 4x4 with a heavy crew cab, all that good stuff. And I ended up buying this thing off Facebook Marketplace for $18,500. Yeah, too good to be true? Yeah, it turned out that it was. So after buying the vehicle, guy wanted cash. Sounds sketchy, but you know, I did my due diligence, which you always want to do when you buy a new vehicle. So I did make sure I checked with the NCIB database. The vehicle wasn't showing up as stolen. The Carfax came back clean. The guy had what looked like a clean green Michigan title with his name. I checked his ID. His ID matched what the title said. All that stuff was jiving. The Carfax history looked pretty good. One thing that I didn't pick up on that I should have was it didn't show quite what his title showed for when he picked up the vehicle, like say 1 year earlier or 8 months earlier. I didn't see that on the title on the Carfax, but that doesn't really alarm me. Sometimes the Carfax stuff isn't always so up to date, right? So I kind of overlooked that part of it, but other than that, I gave the guy the cash. I double checked that the VIN numbers on the truck in several locations matched the title. I thought I was good to go, right? No, wrong. The next day I show up to the Secretary of State, I go to give them my green Michigan title, and it turns out the title was not a real title, it was a fake title. So at that point I'm thinking to myself, holy shit, fake title, what am I gonna do? I mean, personally I've bought probably close to 60 vehicles, you know, just over the last 20 odd years plus of having a driver's license, right? So I bought a lot of vehicles, I've never ever ran into a fake title. So this was the first time, and the vehicle still wasn't showing up stolen. So the Secretary of State, the Michigan Secretary of State said, hey, all you need to do is just get a surety bond, and then we'll be able to issue you a title. So I didn't know what a surety bond was. Turns out surety bond was only like $185, so I bought that through my insurance company. Got that done. I also needed to have a police officer come out and do a VIN inspection and fill out the sheet. So we got all that done on Saturday, right? Monday morning, I go to the Secretary of State. Boom, they issue me a clean green Michigan title in my name. You know, license, insurance, registration, all that stuff, right? Now the whole scheme that these guys are running is they buy these vehicles out of state. So this particular truck that I had, this Ram, it was owned by Enterprise, the rental car company. They got done renting it, and so they have like dealerships where they sell the vehicles that they're done renting. So these jokers showed up with a fake ID, ended up purchasing the vehicle, purchasing the truck, and taking out a loan on the truck with a fake ID. Enterprise didn't catch it. So then they go from Pennsylvania, that's where this happened at, and they supposedly had Ohio licenses. Now I guess in Ohio you can't get a title issued without like a notary and all that stuff, so you have to make an appointment to go to the Ohio Secretary of State to get all that stuff taken care of. So since they're in Pennsylvania, they had to make an appointment for, let's say, a week later. And then apparently they just keep either pushing out the appointment or they just don't show up, right? And so after a while, which takes several weeks, that's when the Ohio Secretary of State calls the police, says, hey, we've got these guys who are supposed to show up, they never did, can you check the license? And the police checked it, find out, hey, it's not a real license, right? It's fake. So by this time, this is a month, right? It's 4 or 5 weeks since these guys, you know, quote unquote, stole it. And there's also multiple guys doing this. So the guys that they have on camera in Pennsylvania are a different dude that I dealt with that was here, you know, in Michigan. And yeah, so it's a whole criminal ring, and these guys are good. Like their fake IDs are good. The Michigan title that was issued is really good. The SOS, the local SOS here, said that it was one of the best fake titles they've ever seen. So it's tough. It makes you really kind of worried. So again, I've purchased a lot of vehicles off Marketplace, off Craigslist, off private individuals, and I still will, right? I'm not going to stop, but you do have to be really careful. especially when it's large sums of money, and I guess any kind of newer vehicles like that, because yeah, it may not be stolen when you're buying it, but it could take a few weeks to show up and could end up being stolen. And luckily the cops that came that took the truck from me, luckily they were cool enough. I was like, hey guys, listen, I've got these brand new wheels and tires that I just put on here. Can I at least take those off and put the stock ones back on? And the cops were cool enough to let me do that. So me and my wife real quick just jacked the truck up, you know, popped off all the wheels, put it all back to stock at least. As far as wheels and tires go, I still had a lift on it and stuff that I couldn't remove, right? They took my truck, it was gone. And so $18,500 is what I gave the dude in cash for the truck. Then it was about $1,500 in taxes and fees and stuff, and that $185 at the Secretary of State. You know, then I spent about $850 or something on the wheels, probably another $300 or $400 on the lift kit, all that kind of stuff. So close to $21,000 just absolutely gone. So be careful out there, guys. You know, if you are buying a new vehicle, especially be wary with cash. I mean, look out for a lot of the, there was plenty of signs to tell me that this was a shady deal. So pay attention to those. For me, I kept thinking like, well, I've got a clean title, it's not stolen, I should be good to go. But turns out it can take several weeks for it to get reported stolen with what these guys are doing, right? They're a little criminal ring. So I'm gonna go ahead and post this guy's picture that I have of his license up. Again, this happened here in Metro Detroit. I'm in Commerce Township. I met the dude in Royal Oak, Michigan. And of course he had a fake Facebook profile. I'm gonna link some pictures of the Facebook profile as well. But if any of you guys maybe recognize this dude or the Facebook profile, hey, reach out to me. I'd love to give a $1,000 cash reward to anyone who can lead to this dude's arrest, because that might be the only way in several years from now that I could possibly recoup any of this stolen $20,000 that I've now lost. But in the meantime, you might be wondering, what am I going to do to replace it? Well, that's where this new Jeep Gladiator comes into play. So I did end up picking up this 23 Gladiator Mojave, brand new, just 2 or 3 days ago. So right now, Chrysler's offering, or Jeep's offering, huge discounts on the Gladiator. So this one has about a $54,000 MSRP, and I was able to get this thing for a little more than 40,000 bucks, you know, plus taxes and fees and all that stuff, which would vary. So it was about 14 grand off the MSRP, which is a pretty great deal. Usually for Wranglers and Gladiators, there aren't many incentives. There aren't many, you know, thousands and thousands of dollars off. So this is a pretty sweet deal. So I think this is going to be good for us for quite a long time. And it's a little bit cooler than the Ram, just because, you know, you've got the top can come down, take the doors off, all that cool stuff. So I think it's going to work out just fine.